Do I think Chris Stuckman did a pretty solid job directing his very first movie, his passion project? What is up, guys and horror fans? Welcome back to my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is On The Brinkhead, and this is an exciting one, guys, because today I'm going to review the latest horror film that is directed by a famous movie critic on YouTube. Of course, this is his first directorial debut. That film is Shelby Oaks. This movie is written and directed by Chris Stuckman, and this movie stars Camille Sullivan and Sarah Dern. A woman's desperate search for her long-lost sister falls into obsession upon realizing that the imaginary demon from her childhood may have been real. So, this is an exciting review, guys, because this film is written and directed by, of course, a YouTuber, movie critic that we all know, Chris Stuckman. Now, Chris Stuckman is one of those movie reviewers that actually inspired me to do YouTube. Actually inspired me to do movie reviews for you guys because, you know, I love movies. I love talking about movies. And seeing him basically talk about movies with, of course, Jeremy Jahns and other famous movie critics on YouTube out there, I'm like, you know what? I want to do my own. So if it wasn't for Chris Stuckman, I wouldn't be doing this right now. And I'm doing this for fun. I'm not doing this for a career or anything. I just love talking about movies to you guys. So if it wasn't for Chris Stuckman, I wouldn't have been doing these movie reviews. So if he's watching this, if he's not watching this, fair enough. But I just gotta say thank you. You inspire me to do movie reviews and make me enjoy just talking about movies to you guys. So it's really inspiring to see him coming from this famous YouTube movie critic to an actual filmmaker, to an actual director directing his very first theatrical debut. So it felt like an honor reviewing my Inspirations movie right here. And I find it very inspirational that he's doing that. You know, from a film critic that loves talking about movies, loves talking about film aesthetics, and now him directing his own directorial debut movie. Very interesting. And the trailers of the film actually got me very intrigued from this movie. I think this movie looks very terrifying. I can tell that Chris Stuckman is passionate while making this film. Do I think Chris Stuckman did a pretty solid job directing his very first movie, his passion project? I would say yes. Is this my favorite horror film of this year? No. This film does have a bit of flaws in the film. But for a directorial debut by this film critic that's very passionate into directing movies, I think Chris Stuckman did a very solid job. I think the cinematography in Shelby Oaks really stood out for me. This is a really good looking movie. And you can tell that this film is trying to be different movies all into one. And I thought it goes in ways that I wasn't expecting. And I feel like I can see Chris Stuckman's vision. I can see what he's going for. And I think throughout the most part, it really does work into this film. And I think what Chris Stuckman really does well within Shelby Oaks is tension. He definitely knows how to perform horror scenes really well in a movie. For his director debut, you can understand what he wants the audience to see in a horror film. Not just fucking jump scares that we've seen in so many horror films before. It's more about tension. It's more about the atmosphere. And I think he does a really good job when it comes to the look of this movie and the overall tension when it comes to the horror aspects of this film. And I do think the two leads in the film are good in this film. Camille Sullivan does a really good job as this broken character that is trying to find her long-lost sister in the film, who is a paranormal ghost hunter in the film that discovered a haunted place in the town of Shelby Oaks. And I thought her character is easy to root for, basically searching for her sister. I also thought Sarah Dern does a really good job in the film as well as the sister in the film. And you can tell these two actors know how to present themselves in a horror movie because you can tell what these characters are thinking when they're scared, when they are angry and all that stuff. You can tell that Chris Stuckman picked some pretty solid actors here for this movie. But like I said, the direction, the atmosphere, the tone of this film really stood out for me. And I feel like that's a good start for Chris Stuckman. He does a good job presenting horror aspects. You can tell he is trying to make this movie not like any other horror movies we have seen. And this film goes into different genres as well. Like, literally like the first, I would say 20 minutes of the film felt like a mockumentary film, which I really do love. And then it goes back into the horror film. And there are some certain amount of time in this movie that we spend either exploring this mockumentary and also exploring the tapes. This film does take its time within it, and it just brings out so much tension to the film, and I thought Chris Stuckman did that really freaking well. But I do feel like, in my opinion, my biggest issue when it comes to Shelby Oaks is that I felt like this film was a bit rushed. I felt like the film just goes way too straight on point in my opinion, which I get it. It's not trying to be slow, it's just going straight on point. You can really tell that this film is a bit of a quick film. Like, I literally walked out of this film going, my god, that's it? That's literally the runtime that Shelby Oaks is presenting. But, you know, for a rushed feature film, I think Chris Stuckman has something there. And I can see him, when he does more films to come, hopefully he does more films to come, he will definitely get much more better as a director. But just for as a director debut by Chris Stuckman that is passionate about filmmaking, this is definitely a pretty solid start for Chris Stuckman directing the film. And I think this is a pretty solid horror film that came out this year. But I wouldn't say this is a film that I'm like, oh, okay, this is definitely the standout of horror films this year. But Chris Stuckman, you did a pretty good job for your first director debut. So overall, guys, Shelby Oaks is pretty effective. It's definitely very tension-filled horror film, and I think Chris Stuckman, for his written and director debut, I think he did a pretty solid job with Shelby Oaks. The cast is really good in the film, the cinematography is fantastic in the film, the tension-filled aspects and the scares are really effective in the film. Some of the genre changes also really worked really well in the film. I do feel like this film is a little bit too rushed, and I feel like it could have been fleshed out just a tiny bit more, but for a director debut, for a film that goes straight on point, it's pretty solid. Definitely Chris Stuckman, keep directing movies, you definitely have some talent here. So, I gotta say, for Shelby Oaks, I'm going to say, definitely go see this film at a matinee price. So guys, that is my review for Shelby Oaks. Let me know what you think of this film in the comments below. Do you think this is a great director debut by Chris Stuckman? And do you think Chris Stuckman should direct more movies? Let me know all those in the comments below, while your thoughts on the movie as well. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Keep contacting with me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Notify for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and get Stuckmanized.